Hi everyone, welcome to webinar on PRINCE2. I am Pankaj Sharma. Today I will walk you through some of the key concepts in PRINCE2. Before we start with the core topic, let's quickly go through the agenda for today's session. Now what you see on the screen currently is the agenda for our discussion today. We will start with introduction to PRINCE2. We'll start with the meaning of the acronym PRINCE2 and a brief history about it. We'll talk about PRINCE2 Benefits. We'll also talk about the 6 aspect or performance targets against which progress is measured in PRINCE2. We'll also talk about structure of PRINCE2, which is depicted through 4 integrated elements that are principles, processes, themes, and tailoring PRINCE2 to the project environment. Now let's start with the main topic. What is PRINCE2? PRINCE2 is an acronym for Project in a Controlled Environments, and it is a structured project management method based on experience drawn from thousands of projects and from the contribution of countless project sponsors, managers, project teams, and academic trainers. One of the major advantages of PRINCE2 is that it can be tailored and applied to any project regardless of the project scale, type, organization, geography, or culture. Now let's have a quick overview of history of PRINCE2. The method was originally based on PROMPT, a project management method created by a private limited company called as Succinct Systems Limited in 1975. PROMPT was adopted by CCTA, the Central Computer and Telecommunication Agency, in 1979 as standard to be used for all government information systems projects. In 1989, the first version of PRINCE was launched that effectively superseded PROMPT with government projects. It was in 1996 when PRINCE2 was first published, having been contributed to by a consortium of around 150 European organizations. From 1st January 2014 onwards, PRINCE2 is owned by Exelos Limited, which is a joint venture of Cabinet Office of UK and a private company called as Capita. Now let's go through some of the key benefits of PRINCE2. PRINCE2 is an established and proven method for project management, and there are a number of case studies and success stories that are available to illustrate this. You can find a number of case studies available at the various websites such as exelos.com. It clearly depicts workflows and responsibilities from start of the project to the end of the project. It can be applied to any type of project from any domain, large, medium or small in terms of size, high, medium or low in terms of complexity. Templates related to all the artifacts which are used to manage the projects are available. Plans are carefully designed to meet the needs of different levels in the management team. In PRINCE2, there's a lot of emphasis on business case, and it shows value for money by providing assurance that the project continues to have a business justification. A major advantage of PRINCE2 is that tailoring options are available. The projects can be tailored based on the size, complexity, and the risk associated with the project. See, all these benefits you will have more insight into these benefits as we move forward with the presentation. Now before we start with the PRINCE2 integrated elements, PRINCE2 principles, themes, processes, let's go through some of the basic concepts of project management. First of all, what is the PRINCE2 definition of a project? Now, PRINCE2 defines project like this: a temporary organization that is created for the purpose of delivering one or more business product according to an agreed business case. A temporary organization that is created for the purpose of delivering one or more business products according to an agreed business case. Now, from the definition itself, certain important characteristics of the project becomes clear. A project is a temporary organization, which means the project will always have finite start and end date, and it produces unique deliverable. And apart from this, agreed business case means according to a business case which is desirable, viable, and achievable. Some of the examples of the project are filming a motion picture, construction of a building, office, hospital, or a shopping mall, moving the office from one building to another, hosting an event, creating a new process, creating a product, developing a software, implementing a software product, major enhancements to a software. Now let's go through some of the important characteristics of the project. All the projects bring about change. The changes can be in the form of processes, products, tools and techniques, organization structure, or at least expectations. Projects are temporary. They have a defined start and a defined end. Projects are usually cross-functional. Project involves a team of people with different skills working together. Examples: engineers, testers, business analysts, and so on. Every project is unique, though there may be common elements in the project, but the two projects will differ in terms of team, location, and environment. One example can be constructing a shopping mall, providing similar offering in two different locations. There is a degree of uncertainty associated with all the projects. And one important characteristic of a project is that projects are progressively elaborated, which means a project starts with a vision or a goal. The goal is converted into a high-level plan, and as you proceed forward, the requirements unfold, and you get more clarity on the requirements of the project, and this helps you to plan the immediate future at a detailed level. Now, a very, very important point about all the projects should be desirable, viable, and achievable. A quick comparison between project and operations. Operations are ongoing and produce repetitive products, service, or results. The purpose of operation is to sustain the business, whereas the operation of project is to bring change. Now, in this launching a new car model, as you see on the slide, is an example of a project. Assembly line production is an example of operations. The benefit realization of a project will only happen in operations when the deliverables of project are rolled out into operation. That's very, very important. Now the slide in front of you depicts the 6 aspects of project as per PRINCE2. These 6 aspects are timescales, cost, quality, scope, benefits, and risk. In PRINCE2, the 6 aspects or variables or performance targets on which a project must focus on are timescales, cost, quality, scope, benefits and risk. These 6 aspects need to be effectively managed throughout the project life cycle. The progress of the project is tracked with respect to these 6 variables. Each of these variables can have permissible tolerance. Each of these variables can have permissible tolerance based on the nature of project. Now let's go through these 6 aspects one by one. The time scales. This parameter tells you whether you are ahead, on, or behind the schedule. An example of timescale target can be the project should be completed within 2 years plus minus 1 week. Scope. Scope defines targets related to how many products or deliverables are expected from the project and how many out of them have been delivered. Are there any missing deliverables, or are there any products delivered that were not expected? Example of targets related to scope is, out of all the features listed in the requirements, must-haves, should-haves, and could-haves should be delivered. Cost is the third parameter. What is the cost incurred in the project so far? Are we under budget or over budget? For example, the target budget for the project is 250 million USD plus minus 5%. Benefits. Now, benefits are the quantifiable value of outcomes of the project. An outcome can be increase in productivity. Now, when we quantify this outcome, it becomes like this. For example, revenue increased by 10% or 5 million GBP or 5 million USD or 30 million USD. It's a benefit to be derived from the project. Quality tells you how well the project conforms to the requirement. The target for quality can be expressed in terms of acceptance criteria. An example of acceptance criteria can be 2 million users should be able to transact within 5 milliseconds. Risk tells you about what are the uncertainties that can impact the project objectives positively or negatively. As an example, if the aggregated value of risk goes beyond a threshold, escalation should be made to the appropriate level of management. Now, this is in brief about 6 aspects of the project in PRINCE2. Now, let's talk about 4 PRINCE2 integrated elements that defines the structure of PRINCE2. The PRINCE2 methodology is based on the following key elements: 7 key principles supported by 7 themes, delivered by 7 processes, and tailoring PRINCE2 to the project environment. These 4 elements are termed as PRINCE2 integrated elements and are described in the slide as you're seeing. Now let's go through each of these integrated element one by one. First, we will be going through the 7 principle. Once we are done with the principle, we'll go through the 7 themes, and followed by that 7 processes. Now 7 principles are depicted in the slide in front of you. The first one is continued business justification. The second is learn from experience. Third is define roles and responsibilities. Fourth is manage by stages. Fifth is manage by exception. Sixth is product focused. Focus on product. Seventh is tailor to suit the project environment. Now let's go through each of these 7 principles one by one. Continued business justification is the first principle. A PRINCE2 project must have justifiable business case to start and continue in any time during the project life cycle. A business case describes the reason for doing the project, the forecast for the expected benefits that project will realize, forecast for both project cost and ongoing operational cost, and the period of time over which the benefits shall be realized by using the project's products. Business case also summarizes the major risks to the project that can have adverse impact to its outcome. In PRINCE2, at the end of each management stage or phase, the business case is reviewed to determine whether the project should continue. It is also reviewed if any major risk is anticipated or any major issue has happened. A very, very important point to note, business case is a dynamic document. It's not static at all. It needs to be updated based on the change in the project plan. Now, second principle is learn from experience. Whenever you start a project, always ask a question to yourself. Have I done this project before? Has it been done in the organization before? There might be a situation that it is neither done by you before nor by the organization before. Then look out and see, has it been done in the country or anywhere outside before? If it is, what are the key lessons? The lesson learns, in PRINCE2, the project start from the project start based on the lesson learned from the past projects. Now, when you start a project, you must consider whether you have done the similar kind of project before or has been done by your organization or some other organization you are aware of before, and capture the lesson learned that are relevant to your project. This helps in early identification of the risks and prevent the reoccurrence of the same problem. As work progresses on the project, lessons are collected, recorded in relevant logs, and acted upon throughout the project life cycle. So lesson learned, project start with a collection of lesson learned so that you don't make the same mistake again in the new project. Throughout the project in PRINCE2, lesson learned are collected so that you can take immediate corrective and preventive actions. And when the project ends, the lesson learned are compiled and put into the centralized repository so that they can be used for future projects. The third important principle in PRINCE2 is defined roles and responsibilities. It is important for everyone in the project team to know what is expected from them in terms of responsibilities, their level of authority for taking decisions, and who they report to. PRINCE2 map roles with a set of responsibilities, and each role may be fulfilled by one person or more than one. Also, an individual might fulfill more than one role. The roles and responsibilities can be tailored as per the complexity of the project. The project management team is defined much earlier during the project management life cycle. However, it is refined if required. The fourth principle is manage by stages. PRINCE2 uses stage gate model to control project progress. The work or overall scope to be delivered is divided into manageable units of work, and each stage delivers one or more unit of work. At the end of each stage, we have a stage end assessment to evaluate actual achievement against the planned targets. This gives the true picture of project progress and reduces the project risk by timely responding to the uncertainties and quick corrective actions for the issues. Before proceeding to the next stage, the business case is reviewed to determine whether the project continues to have a business justification or not. Now, the fifth principle is manage by exception. The idea behind this principle is to effectively utilize the senior management's time. And management's attention will be focused only on those areas that are in need of action. Management's time is important, and to use it efficiently, they should only be involved in a decision-making process when it is absolutely necessary. The day-to-day management is the responsibility of the project manager. The senior manager therefore delegates day-to-day management for a stage to the project manager within agreed tolerance for the objective of scope, time, cost, risk, quality, and benefits. However, if the project manager forecasts that actual might exceed the allowable tolerance, then this is known as exception. In PRINCE2, this must be escalated to the senior management for a decision. This, therefore, is a very efficient use of senior management time and means that the project board is only involved in taking decision as and when the need arises. Focus on products is the sixth principle in PRINCE2. The focus should be on creating fit for purpose products, deliverables, not on activities. The definition of what project must deliver or project requirements should be done before the project begins during the high-level planning phase. In PRINCE2, this is termed as project product description and is written in consultation with the users. By developing and agreeing on the project requirements early helps in common understanding of the project requirement and the quality expectations from them. It also helps in developing initial cost and time estimates. Last but not the least is tailoring to suit the project environment. Now, no two projects are same. The level of control required for a large complex project is much greater than that required for a small project. As the risk associated with the complex projects are high, the number of stages required are likely to be greater than a low-risk project. If a similar set of processes are applied to every project without taking into account the complexity, there won't be any benefit. In fact, sometimes the process might become overhead instead of an aid. So all the practitioners must tailor PRINCE2 to suit the need of the project environment rather than embedding or pushing PRINCE2 on their project.